Welcome to this exploration of what it's really like to live in Jerusalem as an English-speaking immigrant. Whether you're seriously considering Aliyah or just curious about where Anglos settle in Israel's capital, I want to give you an honest picture of daily life in this ancient yet modern city. Jerusalem is unlike any other city in the world. It's not just Israel's capital, it's a place where 3,000 years of history meet 21st century life, where ultra-Orthodox neighborhoods exist blocks away from trendy cafes, where stone buildings from the Ottoman era house modern startups, and where the call to prayer mingles with Friday night prayers welcoming Shabbat. For English-speaking immigrants, Jerusalem presents both extraordinary opportunities and significant challenges. Let me start with the fundamental question: where do Anglos actually live in Jerusalem? The answer might surprise you. Unlike some Israeli cities where immigrants are scattered throughout, Jerusalem has distinct neighborhoods where English speakers have created vibrant communities. The premier Anglo area is Baca, where an astonishing 35 to 45% of residents are English-speaking immigrants. Walk down Emek Rephaim Street on any Thursday evening, and you'll hear as much English as Hebrew, American accents, British expressions, South African phrases, all mixing together. But Baca is just the beginning. The adjacent German colony shares much of Baca's character, with 25 to 35% Anglo population. Kataman, just north of Baca, offers a slightly more affordable option with 20 to 30% Anglo residents while maintaining excellent schools and infrastructure. Now let's talk honestly about the elephant in the room: cost. Jerusalem is expensive, really expensive. In Baca, a 3-bedroom apartment will cost you 4.5 to 6 million shekels. That's $1.3 to $1.7 million. The German colony is similarly priced. Kataman offers slightly better value at 3.5 to 5 million shekels for 3 bedrooms, but affordable is relative when we're still talking over $1 million. And here's what compounds these costs. Jerusalem has an intense renovation culture. People don't just buy these beautiful old stone houses and move in. They buy them and then spend an amount often equal to the purchase price on extensive gut renovations, stripping everything down to the stone walls, installing imported Italian kitchens, creating designer bathrooms, landscaping gardens. So why do people pay these astronomical prices? In Baca and German colony, you're living in neighborhoods with some of the most beautiful architecture in Israel. Those original German Templar houses from the 1870s with their thick stone walls, high ceilings, and red-tiled roofs. You're walking to world-class restaurants and cafes on Emek Rephaim Street. You're sending your kids to excellent schools like Pelek for girls or Himmelfarb for boys. You're part of a vibrant Anglo community with built-in support networks. And you're living an urban lifestyle where you can walk to synagogue, to dinner, to cultural events, without needing a car. Schools are often the deciding factor for families. Pelech, the girls' school, maintains very high academic standards while providing a modern Orthodox education with significant Anglo population, around 30 to 40% of students. Himmelfarb, for boys, has a strong reputation for combining religious and secular studies. These schools regularly send graduates to top universities and are a major reason families choose to pay the high costs of living in these neighborhoods. Let me be clear about religious atmosphere, because Jerusalem is fundamentally more religious than Tel Aviv or other Israeli cities. The neighborhoods I'm discussing, Baca, Kataman, German colony, are predominantly modern Orthodox or religious Zionist in character. This means Shabbat-observant families, kosher homes, women covering their hair if married, but also college-educated professionals who engage with modern culture. About 50 to 60% of residents in these areas identify as modern Orthodox, with another 20 to 25% traditional and 15 to 20% secular. If you're secular and want a completely non-religious environment, Tel Aviv is a better fit. If you're working in Tel Aviv, understand what you're signing up for. The commute involves driving 20 minutes to Malcha train station, taking a 30 to 40-minute train ride, and then often additional time to your final destination. Total commute time each way, 90 to 120 minutes. That's 2 to 4 hours daily. This is why many Tel Aviv workers have negotiated hybrid or remote arrangements. The COVID era actually made Jerusalem more viable for Tel Aviv jobs because remote work became normalized. Let me talk about what daily life actually feels like. Weekday mornings in Baca are bustling, parents rushing kids to school, cafes filled with laptop workers, morning minyanim finishing, and men heading to work. Evenings are when Emek Rephaim really comes alive. Restaurants packed with families dining out, friends meeting for drinks, couples strolling. The street stays lively until 11 p.m. or midnight most nights. But Shabbat is when these neighborhoods reveal their true character. Friday afternoon, the pace shifts. Last-minute shopping at the Baca Shuk, people rushing home, and then as Shabbat begins, everything stops. No traffic, no commerce. Saturday becomes this peaceful urban sanctuary. Families walk together to synagogue in their Shabbat clothes, kids running ahead. After services, people stroll home for lunch. The afternoon is quiet. Some nap, others study. Children play freely in streets without worrying about cars. It's one of the most beautiful aspects of Jerusalem life that you simply can't experience anywhere else with this intensity. The Anglo community infrastructure is remarkably strong. Organizations like Nefesh B'Nefesh facilitate Aliyah and run events. AACI, the Association of Americans and Canadians in Israel, provides social gatherings and services. Social activities are abundant. Shabbat meals with strong hospitality culture, book clubs, mom groups, running clubs, hiking groups. This community support is invaluable, especially during the difficult early adjustment period. But here's a critical tension you need to understand. It's very easy to live entirely in what people call the Anglo bubble in these neighborhoods. You can work in English, socialize primarily with other Anglos, shop at stores where staff speak English, and function day-to-day with minimal Hebrew. Some people live in Baca for years without achieving real fluency in Hebrew or deep integration into Israeli culture. Are you immigrating to Israel or just living in an English-speaking enclave within Israel? It's an ongoing debate within the community. Each family has to find their own balance. Let me be honest about the challenges beyond just cost. Space is limited compared to North American standards. A 3-bedroom in Baca might be 90 to 120 square meters. That's about 1,000 to 1,300 square feet. Storage is minimal. You'll hear your neighbors through the walls. And parking is a genuine nightmare in Baca and German Colony. Many buildings were built before cars were common, so they have no parking. You might circle for 20 minutes looking for a spot. Security is a reality you must accept. Jerusalem generally feels very safe day to day, low crime rates, safe for children to play outside, safe for women walking alone. But terrorism risk exists. There are periodic incidents, stabbings, car rammings, shootings that heighten tension. During conflicts with Gaza or other fronts, there can be rocket threats requiring access to bomb shelters that every building has. Jerusalemites develop resilience. Life continues despite these challenges. The cost of living goes beyond housing. A family of 4 in Jerusalem needs approximately 17,000 to 35,000 shekels monthly. That's roughly $5,000 to $10,000 to live comfortably. Food is expensive, particularly kosher meat. Dining out is expensive. Dinner for 2 easily runs 200 to 400 shekels. Childcare is expensive. Preschool runs 1,500 to 3,000 shekels monthly per child. Required gross income for comfortable living? You're looking at 25,000 to 30,000 shekels monthly minimum. That's about $7,000 to $8,000 gross. Here's my bottom line assessment. Jerusalem is a city that rewards those who come for the right reasons and with realistic expectations. If you're drawn to building a Jewish life in Israel's capital, if you value religious infrastructure and Shabbat atmosphere, if you can afford the costs, if you're willing to learn Hebrew and integrate, if you can handle the security situation, And if you prioritize meaning and community over maximizing career earnings, then Jerusalem offers something extraordinary. You're raising children as Israelis and Jews in a city that matters historically and spiritually. You're walking the same streets where prophets walked. You're part of a vibrant immigrant community that supports each other. You're experiencing Shabbat in a way that simply doesn't exist elsewhere. But Jerusalem is not for everyone. If you're highly secular and uncomfortable with religious atmosphere, Tel Aviv is better. If you're career-focused in high-tech or finance with best opportunities in Tel Aviv, the commute may not be worth it. If you're budget-constrained, the housing costs may be prohibitive. If you're not willing to learn Hebrew and integrate, you'll struggle even in the Anglo bubble. The decision requires honest self-assessment about your priorities, your capabilities, your budget, and your vision for your life in Israel.